mother's goal. They're going to try to put it on. It's in the back of the net. And that might be Marco Bustos' first of the year.
My ambition is high. I want to be the best player in the league.
Well, you can see what it means to Bustos.
Christian Jack alongside Marco Bustos from Sweden. That's right. Bustos is back. We have some experience here with you in the Canadian Premier League, my friend, and you've decided to get back. We're going to get into your journey to come here. But first of all, I know what Pacific fans are wanting to hear from you. Why now, and how excited are you to come back?
Yeah, first off, thanks for having me. No, it's just super excited to come back. It's obviously a place that I know really well and a place that I hold close to my heart, especially in my football career. It's a place I've done well and a place that I know really well. So first off, excited for that, and thanks to obviously Pacific and to making the transition easier than most people would think. So that's also a part that makes me want to come back and just hearing the build up, how they want to build the team, and because it's important for me, to come back and to compete. I don't want to come back and like I'm happy finishing in fifth, sixth place. That's not my identity, my standard.
Right.
And yeah, I think it's a good project being put in place, and I want to be part of that. And that's the most important thing, is to be part of that and build from there and move as a unit. So yeah, I'm excited to come back for sure.
You were one of the best players in the league when you were here. You've had 2 years away. I want to ask you a little bit about your time in Sweden with, Vynamo, but as a person, as a player, as you return back to the island, how different are you?
Ooh, this is a good question. I always say to people that ask me, what's the experience been like? How's the football? How's the off field? And I think when you put it into a whole, I think in the whole picture, um, I think a more calm person. I think on the pitch, I've hit a new level for sure. With 40 games under my belt in top league Sweden, it's something not easy to do. And obviously coming from the Canadian Premier League and doing it is also not easy. And stepping to a new level, playing against Europa League teams, Djurgården, you have Malmo, these big clubs that have 30, 40,000 people in the stands. These games are fun, and that's something, Canadian soccer's building towards. Obviously, you have Toronto, Montreal, and Vancouver who are doing that every weekend. But yeah, I would say for sure a better player, and I would say on the personal side, it's helped me a lot, mentally moving across the globe to follow my dreams, and it hasn't been easy, that's for sure. But that's when the going gets tough is when you got to stand up, and I think I was able to do that here. And like I said, it wasn't easy, but I think overall, as a person, as a player, I've grown for sure.
Marco, one of the great things I think of the development of the Canadian Premier League is the new playoff system and making every game matter. Like we had 111 of 112 regular season games last year matter, over 99%. People who are always playing Europe know what this is like. Every
Yeah.
minute of every match matters. You guys have been in a relegation battle. For context, for people who aren't sure about Vynamo, this is a team that was a second-tier team, third-tier team, and have now got to the top tier the last few years when you've gone there, been battling in relegation. You were in a relegation playoff match in November. The pressure on those games. What was that like for you to play in an environment where every minute of every game mattered?
Yeah, it was different for sure. It's something that I've never had to deal with, playing in North American sports. You don't really deal with that relegation promotion battle. And yeah, it was crazy because you can actually feel the pressure at every training session. And then in the games, you feel every pass, every shot, every tackle, everything matters. And we played home and away against the best third place from the second tier. And the first game, they gave us a game. We were down a red card in the first 20 minutes. Um, and then they were beating us 2-1. And then yeah, in the last I think it was 5 minutes, we tied the game 2-2. And then that ended up being a great result for us to go back home and try to win the game outright. And then at home we played really well and we got away with a 1-0 win. But that whole 95 minutes was big, not only for us players, but as a club. When when you get relegated, all the players, or 90% of the players, are their salaries get cut in half. Staff members lose jobs because the club can't pay certain roles that are specified for being in the top tier, because then the club loses money. So it was a big deal for sure, and I definitely left feeling a sense of pride being able to be involved in that two-game scenario, and actually helping the team stay up. That's something I'll hold very, very close to me for the rest of my football career, for sure.
Yeah, as you should. What an achievement to be playing in both those games. Is that something now that you're excited to make contagious within the Pacific dressing room, that you can bring that experience? Like, obviously, Marco, I've known you for years. I remember you as a teenager with the Whitecaps as a young kid, but now you're going to come back. Late 20s, far more experienced. I'm sure they're going to be asking you to adopt that leadership role, not just as a player, but as a teammate throughout, with the likes of Josh Hurd and Sean Young and others. How excited are you to use your experiences to talk to young Canadians and push this Pacific team forward?
Yeah, I'm excited for that, for sure. It's I've always tried to lead by example. I think for everyone who knows me, I love to put in the hard work, the extra hours, those extra minutes on the pitch, whatever it is. I think for me, that's helped me get to where I am today and what I've been able to achieve. And then it's like, I think growing as a player, being here, feeding off other players, teammates, other coaches. I think for me, it's a role I'm excited to be in, because I know I can give more. Besides leading as an example, I want to have more of a voice, and I think to be able to do that in the right way is about gaining respect of your teammates. And as soon as I come in, that's my goal for sure, to get to know every single one of my teammates on a personal level is definitely important, because we're all football players, we're all soccer players, but at the end of the day, we're also human beings. And I think finding that balance of getting to know every player on that personal level, and then obviously on the pitch, and then gaining that a little bit more of that cohesiveness in the group. And I think that's the best way that we can push the group together and get everyone together and on the right path. Because like I said, I know I'm a competitor. I love to compete, and that's anything, any training session, gym session, game, whatever it is. And I think for me to help instill that in the group, I think is important. It's not going to be easy, but it's a challenge for sure that I'm looking forward to.
You mentioned your teammates. You'll have new teammates. You'll have old new teammates as well. And one of those is
Yeah.
Caden Chung, who was just announced as a signing this week as well. When
Mhm.
you guys were playing together and you won the title in 21, it was one of the most formidable wings we've seen in Canadian Premier League history. How excited are you to play and match up with Caden, no matter where you're on the field, and and start creating things down that right hand side again, maybe?
Yeah, it's super exciting. For me, I haven't played with him in a while. He's gone on his adventure, being at Toronto FC for a bit. Um, and then, heading back to Vancouver FC. And everybody's journey is different, and full circle's kind of gone around in the last few years, and we find ourselves back playing together again. And I really enjoy playing with him. He's a really good player, very smart. And I think when you have a teammate that you just understand, it's not something that of course you can practice it. You can practice it, practice, but sometimes it just you don't find that the spark between somebody, and that happens in every team. But I think with me and Caden, I feel like we really know each other really well in our movements, and I think we're breathing the same type of air in the sense of soccer and
Mm.
the way we like to play the game, and I think that's an important match to have when you're on the pitch for sure.
Fascinating. Just a couple more with you, mate. Is there an element when you got the phone call from Jamar Dixon, James Merriman, of a little bit unfinished business? You were a champion in 2021. Those of us who covered that league remember it. Top 10 in assists, top 10 in goals, one of the best players in the league. Semi-final against TFC, Canadian Championship, you get hurt. You were never quite fit again. You had issues and didn't get to play in the final. Are those things that stick with you, motivate you to go back and try and win again and be on the field?
Uh, I don't think about it too much, to be honest. That was part of my journey. How to grow as a human. In a little bit more tough times in soccer terms. Not being able to be on the pitch to help the team win necessarily with my injury. But I did everything I could off the pitch to help, and I think also that was important for the group and important for me to feel like I was able to give something, even though if it was a little bit of, I don't know, a 1% that
Mhm.
helped, then for me, I was happy for that. But I think it's, I think what motivates me most is obviously, football. I've been playing professional football for, 10 years. And what motivates me most is just my drive and my passion for the game and the standard I try to hold myself to. Um, every day is not going to be sunshine and rainbows for sure, but I'm a big believer in, that hard work every day eventually pays off, and I want to, of course, come back to the league, which I am, and you know, right away, I think it's how to instill, my mentality into my teammates, and I think the most important thing for me, for sure, is to get the team on the right path together, because together wins championships. Doing it alone doesn't win you anything, and then the rest happens on its own. I think it's, like I said, important to get the team to be playing good together and being that cohesive unit, and then the individuals shine. So for me, I'm just motivated to get out there and uh, and be me.
Good for you. You being you is always enough. Last one for you then is, uh, you know, the Trident's fans. They love this announcement. They're so excited to have you back. They're passionate. They loved you when you were there. Do you have a message for them for this year? And obviously, the last couple of seasons haven't ended the way that Pacific want. But even when we've covered them, we've seen that they've still been able to get in the playoffs, go on runs, make cup runs. It always seemingly is a team that is in contention. How excited are you to get there, to play in front of those fans, and to try and compete again and push aside the likes of Ottawa, Forge, and Cavalry?
Yeah, super excited. It's always been a place that I felt has a really good energy about it. Being 9 hours ahead here, it was almost impossible to watch Pacific games when they played at home, just with the time change. But I'm excited. Like I said, it's a great fan base, and this goes back to the conversation we had at the beginning about every game mattering, every point that matters. And without the fans, playing in an empty stadium is hard to win games. And if we have our fans there, you guys can win us games and get us points, and that's a proven fact. And for me, it's about having the product on the pitch for sure, because I know they want to come and watch good soccer. They want to come and watch us compete, and that's down to us. But I'm super excited to have them come and give their best support, because your support matters for sure.
Just a big day for the club, a big day for the league and for Canadian football. Marco Bustos, a pleasure to cover you as usual. In 2 years, terrific 2 years in Sweden. We're delighted to have you back. Safe travels back here, my friend, and we'll see you soon.
Thank you very much, and we'll see you soon for sure.
Here's Bustos and Marco Bustos for Bustos! Bustos, and it is into the back of the net.
Bustos versus Wilson. Keeps it himself, has a shot with the left foot. Marco Bustos, take him now.
Bustos is going to take it to goal. Bustos! And he has scored the third goal for Pacific FC.